Hey everybody, welcome back. So the interior is done. Stereo's installed, everything's wired up, everything works. Console's done and installed. I had a little bit of trouble with the insert right there for the shifter. That is a 68 insert. It's got a plastic sliding gizmo that moves with the shifter. Kind of hokey, but that's what they did. And 68 wood grain is different than 69. It's like a light walnut. 69 is like, I don't know, burlwood, oak, whatever the hell it is. But I'm pointing that out because, as I said before, 68s didn't come with a Hurst shifter. They came with a Muncie shifter. And a lot of guys would put Hurst shifters in because they were a much better feel. They wouldn't hang up on speed shifts. So that was a very popular swap. So much so that a 69 Chevy started putting Hurst Competition Plus shifters in as standard equipment, just like Pontiac was doing the Firebirds, also doing the 442s, etc., etc. So that piece does not fit with the Hurst shifter. When you move the shifter forward, it hits. If you look at the front of this insert, it's very deep, and that wall right there was hitting the shifter, especially in reverse. So I picked up a 69 insert, and you can see the difference in the wood grains immediately. You know, I could have lived with that, or I could have bought a 68 wood grain for it. And this one, if you look, some hacker cut this leg off it. I paid like 35 bucks. I didn't care. I figured it was just something I could fit up, modify the way I had to modify it. Then once I had it down, I would buy a nice one. But this one, it fits and it works, but the hole is huge. And 69 is supposed to have this plastic bucket that goes inside here. So it's like that. And the problem is with the boot, you know, way down low, it was hitting the bottom of that bucket. So I cut the bucket up like an inch. It still hits, you know, and it would make the shifter get kind of jammed up on the forward stroke. So I was going to use a aftermarket boot, try to put it inside this thing like that. But the rubber's kind of stiff on the one I bought, and I bought it off Amazon. It was like 17 bucks. And the studs don't really line up very well in the back. Plus, I don't have anything on the side at all to hold it. I would have had to get creative. So I was going to buy another floor shift boot like this one has down below on the floor. If you look in, you'll see there's a boot down there. It's pretty flimsy. I thought maybe that one would work better. But then I said, you know what? Hang on a minute here. Don't get ahead of yourself, bro. If I take the 68 one, maybe I can modify it to fit. So what I had to do was cut that square right there over, because when the shifter was in third and fourth, it was right against the plastic. So now you got a little bit of space. And on the forward end, I got a little crafty. You may think I'm a genius. You may think I'm a super hack, whatever. I took that forward wall and I cut the bottom of it on both sides, and I laid it forward. And that gave me just enough clearance for the shifter. And then this plastic insert that slides, you know, if you move it, it slides. If you look, there's a metal, if you see it, there's a metal ring that goes around it, and there's studs underneath it that holds it up. So I had to cut the insert, you know, again, to clear reverse and third and fourth. And a little bit of measuring, finagling, cutting. That's it. It works now. It'll go in reverse. You know, it doesn't really hit. And everything should be hunky-dory now. I mean, it's if you force it, you know, bang, it'll probably just tap the front, but you can see this clearance. I mean, there's a gap there. 1/8 inch, probably strong 1/8 inch. So, whatever. We're in. It's done. So there you go. The insert's done. Console's in. Stereo's connected. Everything's wired up. Interior's done. The only thing I have to do is once I road test it again and decide the steering wheel is on straight, I can bolt it down for the final time, put on the horn contact, put on the button, and it's done. The interior will be 100%. Right now it's about 95%, 95%. So I'm glad that's over with. It's just tedious, you know? God, pulling wires, laying them out, trying to, you know, put them somewhere thoughtfully. It's just a friggin' drag. And one other thing, a liberty I took with the car was the shifter ball. You know, the one that my buddy had in the car is the one that came with the Hurst shifter he bought for it. And I'll show you why I didn't like it. You know, traditionally old muscle cars have a white Hurst shift ball, which is all fine and well. But the new ones say Hurst on the side. And believe it or not, I didn't like that. To me, it looks stupid. And it's engraved in, so you can't just buff it off. So, being an Oldsmobile guy, I remember there's certain years of 442s, the white ball would come in a car, I want to say with a console, and the black ball was cars without console, or vice versa. And I always thought the black ball was kind of sexy, especially with a black interior, so I bought a black ball for this thing. I think it looks awesome in there. It doesn't say Hearst on the side either. It doesn't have that stupid writing on it. So, you know, again, it's stupid. It's a Liberty, but it's my car. I do whatever the hell I want. So there you go. Now I was going to black shift ball. Very sexy. So the next thing I'm going to do is try to make it run better. It wasn't running very well last time I road tested it. And I also want to create a vapor canister. My Firebird, when you fill it with fuel and park it in the garage smells like gas for a day or two, which I'm assuming is, you know, the tank being stuffed full and all the fumes having to escape. So they just vent to the atmosphere. I'm assuming this car is going to do it too. I haven't filled it up yet, but we'll find out. So I've been reading online about charcoal canisters. I was going to just stick one in from a newer GM. The only thing with them is it's supposed to be plumbed to the engine, so when the engine's running, and ported vacuum pulls the vapor into the engine and reburns it. I just wanted to store it. So I stumbled upon a post for, of all things, Ford Broncos. And I guess it's pretty popular to make vapor cans for those. So I read this guy's post about how to make your own. All you need is some kind of tubing. He used plastic, PVC plastic, with a plastic end cap on one end with holes drilled in it to let air in so it can, suck air in and vent the tank. And the other end just a screw-on cap so you can clean it out. And he uses activated charcoal like a fish tank. That's a vapor remover. And I said, what the hell, I'll give it a try. I can make it any size I want. I can stick it in the back of the car somewhere. No one's going to see it. So I'm going to work on that next. I'll probably put it under the back quarter panel, back of the exhaust by the leaf spring, but I'll show you that later. But so I want to do that, see if that helps with the venting in the tank. And I'm wondering if this cheapy gas cap I bought, this Reproduction SS gas cap, I wonder if the vent is working correctly. They're supposed to let air flow in. So as the fuel tank gets sucked empty by the pump, it allows air to come in and take up the space. Otherwise, you have a situation where you're drawing fuel through a non-vented tank, so that it would get a restriction to flow. It would cause a vacuum, or ultimately it would suck the tank in. I've seen that before too, so I don't want that. So I got to work on that, and I'm going to run through the engine to see if the floats are set right, and go back over the tune-up again and figure out what's wrong with that. And then next thing after that is figure out the drivetrain noise, and then I can move on to putting the Rally Sport vacuum headlight stuff together. And while I'm in there, I'll put the front cocktail shakers in, the front fenders. They're missing. They're in a box somewhere over here amongst the debris. I did buy some old cocktail shakers, so the rear ones are in. I don't know where the front ones were. My friend never gave them to me, but they're right there. You can see there's one in the corner. It's all painted nice and neat. So the rear ones are in. I don't know why the front ones disappeared, but I never got them. So that's that. So that's where we are as of today. Today's Wednesday, June, I don't know what day it is. 6th, 5th, whatever it is. But we're coming along, man. Like I said, the interior's done. As far as I'm concerned, it's done. Unless something goes wrong, it's done. I'm not doing anything else with it. That's it. Someday I'll probably put a subwoofer in it, maybe. I do have it wired for it. I just have to hook it up at the radio end and put the sub in the trunk. But let's see how it is on the road with the top down. Right now, with the top up, this thing cranks. It's actually quite loud. But I know when the top is down, it's going to muffle the crap out of it. But the fronts are very loud, just like my Firebird. You hear the fronts more than the rears. So let's see what happens with that. I have 2 speakers in the dash middle, and then 1 in each kick panel, and then 2 in the trunk. So that should be a pretty decent stereo. So, okay, I don't want to make this video too long about nonsense. So that's where we stand. I hope your projects are going awesome. I appreciate you spending time with me and watching my silly videos, and I will talk to you later.